Listen, before you scroll, before you click away, just give me a moment of your attention. Not because something terrible is about to happen. Not because there's a countdown over your life. But because sometimes, in the middle of all the noise, all the pressure, all the distractions, we miss the quiet moments that are actually trying to help us grow. And maybe, just maybe, this is one of those moments for you. I don't believe you're here by accident. I don't think it's random that you stopped, even for a second, to read or listen to this. Because if you're being honest with yourself, something inside you has been restless lately. Something hasn't felt right. You've been going through the motions, waking up, doing what you have to do, handling responsibilities, but deep down, there's this quiet question that keeps coming back. Is this really it? Is this who I'm supposed to be? And maybe you haven't said it out loud. Maybe you've pushed it down. Maybe you've distracted yourself with your phone, work, friends, or just staying busy enough not to think about it. But it's still there. That feeling, that pull, that whisper that something in your life needs to change. Not tomorrow. Not someday. But soon. And here's the truth no one says clearly enough: you don't need fear to wake up. You don't need pressure or panic or some imaginary deadline hanging over your head. What you need is honesty. Because if you look back over the past year, really look, you'll start to notice something. There were moments. Moments where you felt something shift inside you. Moments where you almost made a different decision. Moments where you knew, deep down, if I take this step, my life could change. But you didn't. Not because you're weak. Not because you're lazy. But because you were human. You overthought. You waited. You told yourself, I'll do it when I'm more ready. You told yourself, now's not the right time. And slowly, those moments passed. But here's what matters, and this is important: those missed moments don't mean you failed. They mean you're still in the process. Because growth isn't about catching every opportunity perfectly. It's about recognizing when you're ready to stop repeating the same cycle. And I think you're getting close to that point. You felt it, haven't you? That discomfort when you stay the same. That frustration when you realize you're capable of more. That quiet voice that says, you're meant for something different. Not necessarily something bigger or more impressive, but something more real. More aligned. More you. And maybe part of you is scared of that. Because change, even good change, is uncomfortable. It means letting go of old habits. Old patterns. Sometimes even old versions of yourself. And that's not easy. But staying the same isn't easy either. And you've been feeling that weight. So instead of giving you fear, instead of telling you something is going to expire or disappear, let me tell you something real. You still have a choice. Right now. Not because of a deadline. But because this moment, this exact moment, is one of those quiet turning points. The kind you don't always recognize until later. You don't need to do something dramatic tonight. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to do one thing. One honest thing. One real step. Maybe that step is finally admitting what you've been avoiding. Maybe it's reaching out to someone you've been thinking about. Maybe it's starting something you've been putting off. Maybe it's letting go of something that's been draining you. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real. Because real change doesn't come from pressure, it comes from decision. And decisions don't always feel powerful in the moment. Sometimes they feel small, quiet, almost insignificant. But those are the ones that change everything. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need a perfect mindset. You don't even need perfect confidence. You just need to stop ignoring what you already know. Because deep down, you already know what needs to shift in your life. You've known for a while. You just haven't acted on it yet. And that's okay. But don't stay stuck there forever. Don't keep waiting for the perfect time, because it doesn't exist. Life doesn't suddenly become clear and easy. You move, and then clarity comes. You act, and then things start to make sense. You take a step, and then the next step reveals itself. That's how it works. And if you're still here, still reading, still listening, then something inside you is ready. Not fully ready. Not perfectly ready. But ready enough. Ready to stop ignoring. Ready to stop delaying. Ready to stop living on autopilot. So here's what I want you to do, not because you have to, but because it might actually help you move forward. Take a moment. Be honest with yourself. Ask yourself one question. What is one thing I know I need to do, but I've been avoiding? Don't overthink it. Don't analyze it. Just answer it. And then, this is the important part, do something about it. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Soon. Because your life doesn't change all at once. It changes in moments like this. Quiet moments. Real moments. Moments where you choose to listen instead of scroll. Moments where you choose to act instead of wait. And maybe years from now, you won't remember this exact message. But you'll remember the decision you made after it. And that decision could be the beginning of something completely different for you. So don't rush past this. Don't ignore it. Just take one step. That's all it takes to start. And here's something most people don't realize. Change doesn't usually show up in your life as a big, dramatic moment. It doesn't come with a loud announcement or a perfect sign telling you exactly what to do next. Most of the time, it shows up quietly. In the form of a thought you can't shake. A feeling you keep pushing away. A truth you keep circling back to, no matter how much you try to ignore it. And the longer you ignore it, the heavier it starts to feel. Not because something is chasing you, but because something inside you is trying to grow. And growth has a way of making you uncomfortable when you're outgrowing your current life. That's the tension you've been feeling. That's the reason things haven't felt the same lately. It's not that everything around you is falling apart. It's that something inside you is trying to come together. But here's where most people get stuck. They wait for certainty. They wait until they feel completely confident. They wait until fear disappears. And that moment almost never comes. Because confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after. Clarity doesn't come before movement. It comes because of it. And fear? Fear doesn't mean you're going the wrong way. Most of the time, it means you're standing right at the edge of something that matters. Something that could actually change your life. But stepping into that takes honesty. It takes courage. And most of all, it takes a decision. Not a perfect decision. Just a real one. Because right now, whether you realize it or not, you're standing in a moment of choice. You can go back to what's comfortable. Back to what's familiar. Back to the patterns you already know. Or you can choose to do something different. Even if it's small. Even if it's uncertain. Even if it feels a little uncomfortable. And I want to be clear about something. This isn't about becoming someone else. This isn't about suddenly turning your life upside down. This is about becoming more of who you already are. The version of you that you've been holding back. The version of you that shows up fully. The version of you that stops second-guessing every step. Because that version of you, it's not in the future. It's already there. It's just waiting for you to stop holding it back. And maybe you've been holding it back because of past mistakes. Maybe you've been telling yourself that you missed your chance. That you waited too long. That you should have acted sooner. But listen carefully, that's not the truth. Your timing isn't perfect. Nobody's is. But you're not too late. You're just at a point where you finally see things clearly enough to do something about it. And that matters more than anything. Because awareness is where everything starts. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you feel it, you can't completely ignore it. And that's where you are right now. So instead of thinking about everything at once, instead of overwhelming yourself with big plans and huge expectations, focus on one thing. Just one. What is one step you can take that moves you forward? Not 5 steps. Not the whole journey. Just one. Maybe it's finally starting that thing you've been putting off. Maybe it's having a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's setting a boundary you've been too afraid to set. Maybe it's simply choosing to show up differently tomorrow than you did today. That's it. That's how change begins. Not with perfection, but with intention. And here's something else that's important. You don't have to do this alone. You were never meant to figure everything out by yourself. Sometimes growth means asking for help. Sometimes it means learning from others. Sometimes it just means being honest enough to say, I don't have it all together yet, and that's okay. Because it is okay. You're allowed to be in progress. You're allowed to be figuring things out. You're allowed to take your time, as long as you don't stop moving forward. That's the key. Not speed. Not perfection. Just movement. Even slow movement is still progress. Even small steps still count. Even imperfect action still moves you closer to where you want to be. So don't underestimate what you can do starting from where you are right now. Because this version of you, this moment, it's more powerful than you think. You've made it through things you once thought you couldn't handle. You've adapted, grown, and kept going, even when it was hard. That strength is still in you. That resilience is still there. And now, it's time to use it differently. Not just to survive, but to actually move forward. To actually build something better. To actually create a life that feels real to you. And that doesn't happen all at once. It happens step by step. Decision by decision. Moment by moment. Starting with this one. So don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. Just choose something real. Something honest. And take a step toward it. Because the truth is, your life isn't waiting for some perfect version of you to show up. It's responding to the choices you make right now. And if you make even one different choice, you start changing everything.